circuit. They play best-of-3 set matches. Murray's last 2 titles are both in best-of-3 set tournaments. So they change it for the Grand Slams.
I talked to Billie Jean King about this, the great woman herself, who's done so much for equality in life, not just sport. And I said to her, Billie Jean, don't you think that tennis is the only sport that they don't play? They did do an equal time or whatever for the men and the women. It's not like the women run half a marathon in the Olympics or whatever. They run a marathon. Don't you think they should be playing 5 sets? You know, aren't you a bit funny? She goes, no, I think the men should be playing 3 sets. It's not a bad point. She said, I think 5 sets is boring. And that kind of threw me. Oh, she's got a point there.
There are ways sometimes of very subtly proving to people that women can do the same as men. And they have this thing called track days. For a lot of business people, they go to Silverstone or they go to, you know, a Formula 1 track and they get driven around by an F1 driver. And you have been in these situations. So, Susie Wolf, what did you do?
We're normally all lined up waiting for the guests to arrive. And when the guests arrive, they get told who they're going with. And you can just see the person's face drop when they get told they're with me. And this one guy, he then came to me, he's like, I want to go fast, you know. And I felt like saying, you think I want to go slow? You know, do you think that's why I'm here? So he'd already annoyed me on the first sentence. So he got in the car to do a couple of his laps and he was pretty rubbish, I have to say. And then at the end, I always get to jump in to do my fast lap. So I decided, instead of just going for an out-and-out fast lap, I was just going to spend most of the time sideways, scaring him to death. And we kind of got to the first corner on the track and I just hit the brakes, got it completely sideways, and he was like... And I don't think he enjoyed 1 second of that. And I enjoyed every second.
Now, Stuart, sportsmen and women, they can train their muscles and their mind, and you're quite interesting on mind control. How do you train your mind? Because you've got to concentrate for days.
Yeah, I've just been using a brain training app for the last sort of 4 months that helped me through the World Championship this year. But for me, I think it's...
sorry, a brain training app?
Yeah, it just gives you different exercises to train your brain, to sort of free your brain up.
The other thing that sometimes comes into, you know, can be a weakness, is the urge in the middle of a sporting event to go to the loo. Yeah. Well, I just have to ask, because you very rarely see a snooker player go out mid-frame, but you had to, didn't you?
I've just got to go to the toilet. I was busting to go 5 minutes before I went. It was like a little schoolboy. I asked the ref, can I go to the toilet? It was after about sort of, I think it was about 50 minutes through the frame, 55 minutes through the frame, and yeah, obviously a frame going that long, you're drinking water all day, and yeah, you just needed to go. But I think it helped me. At the time, Sean Murphy needed a snooker, so it went out there, it calmed me down.
But you were saying you needed to go as well.
Oh, he did follow me, actually. Not follow me that way, but... But yeah, just obviously there's different toilets. But
thank you for doing that.
But yeah, I think it relaxed me because obviously the crowd then started laughing and it just sort of chilled me out. So
tennis players use bathroom breaks, I think, quite tactically sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Whether you're not actually allowed to go for a break, is it?
No, you can if you really need to go.
Yeah, they used to do that, didn't they? They always. Then they changed the rules at the end of the set.
So the question, obviously, is what happens in a car? Because you can't...
You know, I knew that was coming. Since you were building up to it, do you just go or not?
Do you have a bottle or something down there?
No, you can't go. I mean, I think when you do at the start of the race, the green flag lap, you come around in your car and then you have about 14 minutes before the actual start happens, and all the drivers go to the toilet. So the guys just kind of walk to the side of the start grid and to the toilet.
Yes.
And I'm the one, where's the nearest toilet? Where's the nearest toilet? Running down the pit lane to try and find the nearest toilet. So, yeah, no pit breaks, toilet breaks for us.
No, because if anyone did in those suits, it's got nowhere to go, has it?
Well, I think it has happened before. I have heard stories, and it's not nice.
Is that why they spray all the champagne then on the podium? Because I always think that's such a waste of champagne, really.
Maybe it's to, cover
Just
their
cover
tracks.
that up.
Yeah.
I think so.
You could be onto something there, Claire.
Yes. On a more serious note, physical training. What do you do? Because core strength is really important, and obviously you're dealing with G-force as well.
What's really funny in Formula One, when you see the onboard footage of us driving, it looks like we're doing very little. So everyone kind of thinks, well, you don't need to be that strong. But the toughest part is the G-forces coming through your body. In Barcelona, along the straight, I was up to around 323 kilometers an hour. And the hit of the brakes, I was going down to around 180. That was minus 4.5 G on the back of my head when I hit the brakes. And 1 G is double your own body weight. So it's a lot of stress, and particularly on the neck, the back and the core. So I have to do a lot of training. But for me, luckily, my sport isn't just out and out power. You have to be strong, but the fact that I have less muscles than a man isn't a disadvantage. I can overcome it with training hard.
Well, actually being lighter would help, wouldn't it? Because, you know, Formula One drivers are always tiny. And Lewis Hamilton told us about he had to lose weight early, I think, last season.
When the regulations changed, all the drivers had to go on quite big diets to lose the weight. And I remember speaking to Lewis at the start of the year, and he said, it's so tough right now. You can't believe my life. Every day I wake up, I stand on the scales, and every time I eat, I have to think what I'm eating. And I said, hey, that's the life of a woman. Well, that's every day, every year for us. But they were under a lot of pressure, and that's definitely where I have a big advantage.
Stuart, what about you, fitness-wise?
Well, as you can see, I'm in peak fitness in my
Peak of
career.
health, I'd
Yeah,
say,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah, I'd be in trouble if it was double my weight with the G and everything.
What do you do when you're training for snooker? Do you go around the house and just like point at the kids or something? Like pick stuff up and you walk around. I imagine your back would hurt, wouldn't it?
I've had a few problems, early on, but say touch wood that I ain't had any problems for a while.
Is snooker as polite as it looks?
It is known as a gentleman's sport, but there is a little bit here and there where you sort of, not sort of cheating, but sort of bending the rules, and a few people sort of chalk their cue when the other person's down on the shot, and
What, just to distract you, to get in your eye line?
no, just obviously because actually it's like very quiet when you're playing, and little shh sort of goes like that, and it does put you off. But
They wouldn't start dancing right in front of you or anything?
No. You got some of the other players, they sort of wipe their cue with their towel. So you've got a nice bright white towel sort of going up in the air while you're down on the shot looking at them. Little things like that to put you off.
I never knew that. I'm going to start looking for all of these things. But there isn't any actual sledging, is there?
No, not
no.
right, no.
Because there really was when he was playing.
Yeah, I've heard,
Yeah. What sort of things did you say?
I don't think it was that bad. It was just reminding players of how bad their backhand really is normally. You know, gee, you're playing well today. You're hitting your backhand well today, mate. Yours is normally hopeless, you know. So stuff like that. That was regular. I mean, it's standard. When I first came on the circuit, there was, of course, we had Ili Nastase, who was the greatest clown of all time, Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, these sort of things. So when I came on, we were really taught by our coaches how to work gamesmanship, or what to be prepared, and how to do that sort of stuff. But I mean, I learned one of my greatest lessons. I was the #1 junior in the world, and I played a tournament in Bristol. It's a week before Wimbledon, and I had to play this old guy called Ili Nastase, who is basically at the end of his career. And as we come out, we're sitting opposite, you know, the umpire's chair's there, Nastase's over there, and all of a sudden I hear this, shit! This is shit! This is shit! And I look over, Nastase's, what's he doing? The referee, Ili, what is going on? And he stands up and he pulls out a big towel, a giant towel. He said, this is not the towel, this is the sheet! This is the sheet! The old clown beat me in straight sets.
Now, Susie, your husband is Toto Wolff, and what's his job?
He is the head of Mercedes-Benz Motorsport, and he's the CEO of the Mercedes F1 team. It's a huge advantage to have someone that's in the game who's there to support me, because it is a tough environment, and ultimately we travel the world together, which is for us a huge bonus.
And who drives the family car?
Well, he does, because actually he's such a bad passenger. He says I'm a bad driver, but It's actually that he's a bad passenger. So just to keep the peace in the family, he drives and I just tell him he's great.
Okay. Now, Michelle, your wife, Stuart, has to put up with many things. I mean, hours and hours of practice, obviously. But when you go on holiday, presumably you can switch off from snooker.
No.
No,
No.
not on holiday. What happens?
Literally, as the plane sort of comes down and we're in, I don't know, Mallorca or wherever, we get to the hotel, we unpack, and if we see a pool table, that's it. I'm trying to hustle people and get in there for a few drinks.
Do you? When you hustle people, do you sort of pretend that you're not very good and then wait till the money's down and suddenly you blitz them?
Yeah, I try and play left-handed to make myself not look good. But I've done it once back in the day before, I think just as I turned pro, and we was at a golf weekend, and there was a snooker table there, and me and a friend, there was about 6 or 7. There was like rugby players. So there was 6'8", stocky guys, and they was all playing a game of killer. And we sort of said, can we join in? And I think we took about 70 quid. So it was only kind to go and buy them all a drink before we got beat up, I think.
So we're big lads.
Yeah.
Stuart now really, really knows how to treat his wife. I mean, like a massive treat. He's won the World Championship. Let's go out, darling. I've booked a table for 2. This is what he put on his Twitter feed. Told the missus that I booked a table for tonight just for us 2. A quick hour and then some food, which presumably was chicken dinner.
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it?
I actually met her in the snooker club. She worked behind the bar, so yeah, that's how we actually met. But she can't play it to save her life.
No. So we talked about your marriage and your marriage, Susie. Pat is the only one on the sofa who has been voted world's sexiest granddad. And I know everyone's saying, no way, he's far too young to be a grandfather, but how old is your granddaughter, Talia?
She is 5 now. Yes, she's 5, and I've got a little Talia. Yeah, my daughter, when she announced that she was pregnant, I think that was just about the first thing that I thought of. I'm too young to be a granddad. I talked to her mum, and she almost said the same thing. I said, well, we're going to be grandparents. She said, I'm too young to be a grandmother. We were young parents, and now young grandparents. So it's 2. We got little Patrick Cash.
Oh, really?
It's really really cute, but really strange seeing little Patrick Cash on his little lunchbox. Oh my God! It's like
And Talia is showing signs maybe of a little family talent.
She loves to play sport. She loves to play tennis. Why? Do you have a little...
Yes.
Oh, you got that video?
Yes. Okay, so this is Talia. Pat... Oh! Pat feeding at the ball. Now that is a backhand and a half. Boom! Oh. Was she really pleased with her?
She was so happy. She was so happy. She watched the video and she wanted to see it again that day and again. She hit silly grandpa, she calls me.
Well, we have hugely enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you so much. 3 fantastic guests, to Stuart Bingham, to Susie Wolff and to Pat Cash. Back here next week because I'll be joined by another stellar lineup, including cricketing legend Sir Curtly Ambrose. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Good night.